Thanksgiving hosting is at least a little bit stressful for everyone, but especially if you're the one in charge of decorating or cooking. All of that stress can be taken to a whole nother level if you're trying to eat low sugar or no sugar at all. But the good news is that you can DIY a sugar balanced Thanksgiving, and here's how to do it. Hey guys, Izzy here and welcome back to my Sugar Balanced Living series. If you're interested in learning about sugar addiction, low sugar or sugar-free living, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications about new videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to plan a sugar-free or low sugar Thanksgiving the easy way. Whether you're simply cutting out sugar or trying to recover from sugar addiction, holiday meals can be tricky to navigate at best, but Thanksgiving is particularly hard because it's so centered around food. To make matters even more complicated, we often don't want to miss out on the special foods we love, as they're part of a strong and cherished family tradition, not to mention that they're absolutely delicious. You feel like you have to either not take part or compromise on the flavors you've been looking forward to all year long. But the good news is that with a little bit of planning and some clever tips and tricks, it is totally possible to create a delicious and stress-free no or low sugar Thanksgiving meal that will still have you and your family going back for seconds. If you're ready to get started and that sounds good to you, comment heck yes below. We're going to break this video down into two parts. First of all, we're going to tackle the savory side of the meal, and then second of all, of course, we're going to cover that dessert. Everything that I'm covering in this video comes from my own experience, previously as a sugar addict during Thanksgiving, and now as what works for me during Thanksgivings as a low sugar, or as I like to call it, sugar balanced eater. So without further ado, let's get started. You may be a little bit surprised that we're even talking about the main meal course, especially if you don't add sugar to those dishes yourself, but the ingredients you're adding may contain little bits of sneaky added sugars. So the approach we're going to take is to adapt your meal to a totally sugar-free version. If you're not so fussed, you can always follow these guidelines and still add a little bit of added sugar to your dishes, but again, that depends on your own personal preferences. The first thing that I want you guys to remember is that your savory dishes don't actually need sugar. Your Thanksgiving meal, in its very base, is sugar-free. In fact, in my family, we've never added sugar to any of our Thanksgiving meals, and that was before having a dish with or without sugar was even a concern of ours. When made with the right recipes, your dishes should be able to stand on their own 2 feet without added sugar having to make up for anything. That's not to say that your dishes, the way they are right now, aren't completely delicious. What I'm simply saying is that there are ways to cut sugar out without compromising on flavor. So the first thing I want you to do is go over your stockpile of ingredients and check if anything you add to your food has sugar or any other name for sugar listed on the ingredients. You can look up a list of alternative names for sugar, or you can go ahead and check out my 27 plus hidden sugar foods to watch out for checklist plus shopping guide, which you can download now, and check out the list of 50 plus names for sugar that I've attached for you inside of that. To get that, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. For any of your Thanksgiving dinner ingredients with hidden sugars, go ahead and switch them up to a completely sugar-free brand, preferably organic, or go ahead and make them yourself. Some foods to watch out for and check especially are cranberries, canned cranberries, gravy mix, and cornmeal. The next thing that I want you to do is go ahead and find varying recipes for the dishes that you would normally add sugar or some kind of sweetening ingredient to. Like I said earlier, your Thanksgiving dishes can stand on their own. Your sweet potato mash tastes delicious without added sweetener. It doesn't need sugar or marshmallows to make it into a flavorful dish. The sweet potatoes are naturally sweet, and with some salt and lots of extra butter, they can be made into a creamy, delicious, satisfying side dish. Use natural seasoning that you love. For example, if you traditionally use some kind of sweet glaze for your turkey or ham, instead opt for fresh herbs like sage and rosemary, add salt, vegetables, and a flavorful quality broth. Get creative for adding that sweetness by adding a fruit like apples, some fruit juice like orange juice, or even go crazy and use a little bit of champagne. Top it all off with a well-seasoned garlic butter and you're good to go. Which actually brings me to my final point. Try adding a little bit more healthy fat to your meal to make up for any sweet flavor. I'm not saying like go crazy and add a ton of lard to your meal, but a little bit of extra butter or olive oil will go a long way in adding flavor where sugar may have done so before. One thing not to do though is to use veggie oils or a ton of like self-facing turkeys. The fats in there are really bad for you. Instead, just opt for some extra virgin olive oil or a little bit of organic salted butter. On to dessert. This is the one I know that we've all been waiting for. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and leave me a comment below. What's been your favorite savory tip so far? So what I want to go over here is moderation. This is what I find personally works for me during my holiday dessert courses, and what I find works the most, as long as you know that if you taste something sweet, you're at a comfortable level with your reliance on sugar. Some of you may not be able to include sugar back into your diet yet, especially if you're in the throes of a major sugar addiction. We'll get to your sugar-free options in a moment, but generally I think if you're in a healthier relationship with sugar, I think moderation is a great way to go. Here we're basically choosing smaller helpings of sugar-sweetened or normal, if you will, desserts. A lot of us look forward to grandma's pie or those ginger sugar cookies all year long, so to avoid missing out on the flavor but without eating a ton of sugar, simply eat a bit less of your favorite dessert. For example, cut a half slice of pie and top that with vanilla stevia whipped cream, or just have one coffee and with a little cookie and then have that as an after dinner treat. You're still eating what you love, but with a fraction of the sugar intake. The next thing you can do is simply change out the dessert you have to something that is naturally low sugar or refined sugar free. Go ahead and find a brand new recipe for dessert that is normally sweetened with honey, or find a recipe that has a normally low added sugar content. For example, you can make some delicious pumpkin muffins that are only sweetened with honey and taste just like the season. Throw in some sugar-free chocolate chips and you've got yourself a deliciously easy dessert. You can also get creative and do like totally sugar-free brownies and top that with more of that stevia whipped cream. I actually have recipes for both of those below, so go ahead and check those out in the description. One thing I would say though, if you really do need to choose a totally sugar-free dessert, is not to choose something that you really, really love and then try and change that into something that's sugar-free, unless it's really, really well reviewed, the recipe that you found. Instead, choose something that's naturally sugar-free like berries and more of that stevia cream. Although making sugar-free swaps for your favorite food is fine 99% of the year, Thanksgiving is a super special day with super special food, so I don't want you to get excited for a recipe that you think will taste exactly like the sugar-free version and then be disappointed with the end result. A lot of healthier sugar-free desserts have other ingredient additions which do change up the flavor, like nut butters and granulated stevia. So when you try the dessert, it has a recognizably altered taste. That disappointment may only end up making you hit the snack cabinet later on and search for a real treat, so to speak, to satisfy that craving. Okay, so that's how I like to plan and enjoy my Thanksgiving dinner while eating low sugar or sugar-free. I hope you're able to get some awesome inspiration for planning your Thanksgiving easily and diet friendly. If you like this video or any of the tips, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already and hit that magic bell, and go ahead and leave a comment if you have any thoughts or questions about low sugar or sugar-free, sugar-balanced Thanksgivings. I always read every single comment because one thing I am grateful for this Thanksgiving is you guys. Struggling with food or sugar cravings and would like a little bit extra help, please do check out my totally free 5-day food, sugar balance and wellness challenge. It's 5 days of simple, actionable, and I dare say fun steps for creating a total mind and body wellness and reducing any sugar and food cravings you may have without restrictions so that you can still enjoy the holiday foods you love while still feeling your healthiest self. When you join, you'll get free workbooks, a recipe and shopping guide, as well as daily journaling prompts and my beginner's guide to journaling. And you get access to my free Facebook support group with live trainings and Q&As. And if that isn't enough, you get a free 6th bonus day. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and join by using the link in the description below. Oh, and don't forget to check out my Sugar Balance Living series playlist to learn more awesome tips, advice, and facts about sugar balance and beating sugar addiction, so you can keep on creating your healthiest, most balanced, and most importantly, happiest life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope your Thanksgiving is as awesome as you are, and I will catch you later.